So welcome. If you're watching this, you've already taken option on our program, and you're looking forward to seeing myself or one of our consultants. What we're going to do in this little session, just to get you ready for this meeting so that we get maximum outcome for you in this time. You'll notice that you've got a little pack, and the pack has some things in it. It's got strategic spending, which is a very, very important part of your plan to really see what you're spending and how you're spending and where it's going, so you can plan some things. 95% of the population spend all they earn or more than they earn. So this is an opportunity for you to really check out where you are here in this area of financial freedom. The second thing that you've got is that your very, very important form called your blue form, we call it, which is your data collection sheet. And this particular form has lots of stuff, and I know it's going to be annoying for you to fill it in, but you need to do it because it's going to tell you where you are, where you want to go, and specifically it's going to help me get you to that place. So in the front of the form, if I could just go through it with you very, very quickly. Obviously it's got your name, address and all that kind of detail. Please fill in everything, including your children and those sorts of things, where you're working and how you're going. Perhaps even a note inside could either tell me, are you going to stay there or you're planning on leaving? The most important thing on this front page, apart from all that other detail on emails and your phone numbers, etc., is what you'd like to do in this next 12 months. What you'd like to do in the next 3 years, what you'd like to do long term, and why do you really want to have wealth? And for me, the three most important things, what are the three most important areas in which you require our help? Filling that in is very, very important. Last thing on the bottom of that form, other relevant information, specific investment objectives, financial situations and needs. So if there's anything like this, please put this in. Now, you can't do it wrong. You can't make a mistake, really. There's no right or wrong to this. It's just whatever you feel you can put in there. And if you're unsure, just say, look, I'm unsure what this is. In fact, that's why I want to come. The next part has your income. This income section is very important. You'll notice gross and after tax. That means your gross income, that is the income you get before you get taxed, then after tax. We're not worried to the penny. Just want to really get an idea of this. This is your year income rather than your monthly or weekly. We're really interested in where you're going to in this sense. In other words, what your next year's income is. You'll obviously take history into consideration for that. If you're not working, the answer's nil, and you could estimate approximately what it would be when you are. There's other sections there about all the different types of income from rents and dividends and other things. The next section is your savings, your expenses, if you like, your investment payments, etc. You can only really fill that out if you've in fact done the strategic spending, that 12-month in advance plan. And I've got a special DVD for you on that strategic spending to help you. However, the bottom line to that is it will show your income, it'll show your expenses, and the next section says, and what are you saving, or what's left over. Now, if the answer is nothing, which it is true for a lot of people, or it's minus, that's just something you've got to look at and know. And for a lot of people, though, or percentage, they're saving 10% and more. Some people are saving 20, 30%. Some people are putting more money into their wealth account, into their superannuation fund, into their mortgage payments and stuff. Well, they're extras, and we'd like to put those as savings rather than put them into mortgage as far as this form's concerned. The next thing is your house and investments and houses. And if you've got a number of these, we have people who have 4, 5, 6, 10 of these, put another little sheet in. Again, filling it all in and totaling is very important to us, particularly purchase dates, so we can see if it's pre-capital gains taxed assets. Cars, and the year that the car is, to give us an idea, is this car you want to change, or are you happy with that? Your business section is very important. If you're not in business, just leave that, just put a cross straight through that. If you've got your own business, it's got, do you own the business? What's the net assets of the business? What's the goodwill worth, which is basically how you get the total value of a business? What's the turnover per year? What's stock, if you have stock? How much is it? How much cash in the bank? What's your creditors, debtors? Creditors mean the people you owe money to. Debtors are the ones that owe you. And your pre-profit, pre-tax. In other words, what is your net profit before tax? And then how many team members? If it's you and your wife, or just you, or a little team of 6 or 10 or 20, whatever, just put that in. For the business owners, a special thing about the income area, there are two income areas. First income area is the business's gross income. Then the business has expenses that go out. If it's a small business, the balance of that expenses, that is the telephone bills, the rent, the various things, the balance of that becomes your gross income. And it's that gross income that really should go into this form. And then you pay tax. So it gets a bit confusing for some people who've got business incomes and they kind of put all their income in together, and particularly husbands and wives. Really just put it through as you see it best, as you describe it. What we're really trying to get to here is, what is the bottom line? What is the amount of money you get? What showed up in your tax return? What did you get paid? The next stage is your bank account. A lot of people sort of skim this one and think, oh, I haven't got much in there, so I'll leave it. We've had people say they haven't got much money in the bank and they've got $20,000. It's not much at all. So it's all a relative number. If you have a bank account or a number of bank accounts, I'd like you to put all of those in and where they are, and just take a snapshot today. It will never be right tomorrow because money comes and goes, but just gives us an idea of where you are. The next one is your term deposits, bonds, shares, and again, if you've got a pile of them, a little sheet would help me. Manage funds, superannuation, and if it's a do-it-yourself fund, say it's a do-it-yourself fund. Guess the amount. If you're not sure of what it is, this may be a good opportunity to guess a figure, $1,000, $10,000, put a question mark after it, and then send an email off to the company that has your super fund, and they'll send it back with your amount that you have. So perhaps a little bit of research would be good. Also insurance policies, etc. Then there's an addition to adding all this up. And then we've got credit cards. This is, again, important. This is all your debt or your liabilities that you have. And again, details you can. Basically, the credit limit and how much has been drawn on it. Could be $10,000 slash 5,000 drawn, or 10,000 nothing drawn, or 10,000 drawn, or 3,000 and 3,000 drawn, whatever. And what is this account? Is it a MasterCard? Is it a Visa card? What? And who owns the card? Is it the client, the spouse, or is it a joint card? And that's what the CSJ stands for. If you've got overdrafts or other loans, write them in, particularly loans to family, friends, or whatever. At the back, last page, nearly done, is your superannuation details. It's all virtually self-explanatory. Any life insurance, and professional advisors, accountants, solicitors, stockbrokers, personal bankers, and others. And if you know these names, if you have people, if you don't, just say none at this stage. And of course, other information, your health of yourself and your family, best investment you've ever made, worst investment. I've had people say that their wife was their best investment. I've had people say their wife was their worst. So whatever's true for you, whatever's right, and sometimes women will say their husband was in either one. Do you see any foreseeable substantial changes in your occupation income during the next 2 years? This is another little important point. Bit on wills there, and read the bottom, and it does say, this is a true indication, because we're relying on you to tell us the truth here. We're relying on you to tell us where you truly are. And the way to freedom, the way to financial freedom is through truth. It's the only way to get there. So sign it and date it. There is a way of doing this on our internet, and do it as a soft copy and send it. It's actually a better system for us. We need this form about a week or so before you come and see us. And our team will be on the phone talking to you about this, and just go through if there's anything specific that may have been missed, or for us to understand how we can serve you well. A couple of little quick things here in this plan. The purpose of this whole form and all this drama, if you like, all the filling of this in, is really just about getting a focus on your position and really getting you to participate in your own rescue here, to have you be substantially well financially and balanced and in harmony. To do this, we've really got to know where you are, and you should too. If you bring this to consciousness, then you've got a really good chance of moving forward. It's never where you were that counts, it's where you're going that matters here. So the preparation is important. Put a little in, you get a little out. Put a lot in, you get a lot out. A couple of things I just, as you know in your little sheet, if you want to read this, is obviously reading my book's important, because you're going to learn about good debt, bad debt, And we're going to ask you some questions about whether you know this, so I would read it if I were you. And we're not trying to turn you into an accountant. We are trying to bring you to consciousness. We are trying to bring you and raise your standard. We are trying to get you to know where your chin is. We're really going to get you to this point where money will become a servant for you, and the tail will start not wagging the dog. The dog will wag its own tail here. Your partner is very important. If your partner hasn't watched this, I'd recommend your partner does. And although they might think, oh, I don't want to know, this is your job, and you need to be rowing together, you need to be both in the same boat. And although the partner may not be involved that much in the financial matters, there's a huge difference whether the partner's walking with you and walking together step by step. And just to know someone's there and working with you is helpful. And this is what relationships are about. They're about really being together and facing some of these things and being open, transparent in all of this. And it's very, very important. So highest recommendation for that. In fact, that they come with you when you come to this program. If you're not in a relationship, obviously that doesn't matter. There's another little DVD called, it's a 45-minute Automatic Millionaire Advanced Accumulator program. And I recommend you look at that. It's, again, information on credit, debt reduction, stuff like that. It's understanding how to use other people's money. Lazy people use their own money. Smart people use other people's money. So have a good look at that. And it may also add some questions to you. And have a little sheet there you can write those down. As I said, completing the strategic spending. If you're having some difficulty with that, or if you're a bit like me, not very computer literate, one of our team members can help you do this. They'll go through it over the phone for you, because I'd rather have you well prepared than have you come not prepared. The last thing, really photocopies of any documents you think are relevant. For instance, your super fund, insurance, tax returns, etc. Now, I don't want you bringing a whole box of things, just the front pages, just the relevant information, if you like, just the information that would give us the overview. This first meeting is not designed to solve every single problem that you have. What it is to capture where you are, where you want to go. I'll just mention basically the issue that we're really going to be working for, and I've just done this on the board here. This is moving from abundance. It's just a little story we have here. Instead of moving towards something, which is always out of your grasp, if you're already abundant in your heart of hearts, you can always move from that to the next stage. I'm going to be working with you on your mindset. I'm going to be working with you on your goals and how they're going to work for you, our 7-year plan that we're going to work in advance, and the mission, and really a time management situation in relation to an action plan. I'm going to explain to you understanding the principles, the laws, if you like, of money, the laws of accumulation. We're also going to create a little financial plan, not a traditional one that you see with a financial planner, which he may be selling your product or whatever. It's going to be your plan to suit you, to have you with real estate, shares, businesses, and to create the wealth that you really want. And we're going to use the $1 to $1 million. We're going to use targeting as a plan. I want to show you some strategies in this meeting that perhaps could take you to the next level, and some strategies that you could actually work on right now. In our full program, of course, we have very detailed strategies over the 6 days and the 12 months. I'm going to show you some ways of increasing your income and really containing your expenses. And this is not about living on the smell of an oily rag. It's about actually spending strategically and enjoying your life. We then want to get to assets to income. This is a very important aspect of our trainings, which is different from income to assets. And with that is your trading, your buy and hold situations, and how do we create this real income, and particularly substantial sums of money, $25,000, $50,000, that kind of money, so we can get this paid off some of your mortgages, get money into the account, into your wealth account, so you can start investing and doing stuff. And just remember, you are your greatest asset. You must invest in yourself. And the very fact you're watching this indicates to me that you're a seeker and that you want to go somewhere. So this is the biggest asset, you. The other part is you're managing your assets, including you, which is a bit of a time management situation. The management of your assets is something to bring into consciousness. It's not something we want to have you looking at this every day and worrying and becoming an accountant. It's just this overview, once a month, once a quarter, that sort of thing, and getting feedback. Protecting your assets, this is insurance and things like that. Some of this is relevant to people who've got large mortgages and they've got children and family, both in income situations and obviously with assets such as fire insurance and that type of thing. There's also protection in terms of trusts and how we structure things, and we're going to teach you that, show you how to get double hybrid trusts, how to protect assets. Probably another part you may want to consider, which we've mentioned briefly, is superannuation. It's a bit like if you died, you've got to be insured. If you didn't quite die, it's income protection. If you didn't quite die or die, you get to superannuation, so that's the end result. And there's some things we're going to show you here to make sure that if you are going to pay insurance, that you at least pay it as a tax-deductible arrangement. It's best through super. And it's best to have general insurance rather than the frilly ones of they put investments and package things up, and they tend to charge you lots of fees. So our training's around wholesale investing, wholesale buying, wholesale most things. Second last part, lifestyle. This end result of all of this and all what we're doing here is for one purpose, to have you have lots of choices and have a lifestyle. And with that is the legacy that you leave. We're going to help you build a dream team, some people that you can work with. I'd rather see you do 3 projects with others and learn more things and diversify your risk than just you do one. And yet you could do one by yourself as well. So this is going to be some choices that you make. I'll leave you with this thought. There are 5 L's, and I think I mentioned them in our program. And I'd ask you to think about these L's and think it carefully through. The first L is how are you living, and there's a question to really check it out. How are you living? Second one is how you're loving, and who loves you. And the third L is what are you learning, and I expect the fact that you're even watching this is a learning in that. And this learning is an ongoing process. The next one is, what's the legacy that you will leave? And this is not a bronze statue in a park so pigeons can come and poop on your head. It's the legacy that you leave for your children and your grandchildren. And lastly, what's the lifestyle you're experiencing now, and what's the lifestyle you want? So these are deep questions. They're important for you to consider. And these forms and this meeting that's coming up is part of the steps towards that. The last L is a sneaky extra one, if you like, a little bonus one. It's called laughter. And how are you laughing? So I look forward to seeing you. Your mind will want to have games with you. It will want to say things like, judgment, and it will be critical, it will be doubtful, it will be fearful. If you're even watching this, there'll be part of you that actually is moved already out of its comfort zone and actually a little concerned, and there's some fear perhaps even showing up. There's others watching this that are excited and can't wait. What I know is if you're not excited and you're not frightened, then this isn't working, because we are moving you out of your comfort zone. So look forward to catching up with you. Do that at your space. Just notice how the mind will get in the way, and just also notice the procrastination that shows up and all the other things. Our team's here to help you. We've got beautiful people working in our organisation. And I know this is right for you. There's a truth here that's overwhelming. I want you to come home and check this out. So look forward to seeing you. Thank you.